It's gonna get personal.
What? Where's my brakes gone?
And welcome back to the channel. I think the last time I was speaking to you, I did mention a Royal Enfield Continental GT. I've just fitted the first aftermarket part, and that's a Tech 2-in-1 exhaust system and DNA filter. Let's have a look at the bike, and we'll just go around it, and I'll show you why I love these bikes so much. So there he is. There's the Continental GT up on the bench, minus the left-hand exhaust. But you can see where I'm coming from. I mean, as a calf racer, it's almost there. You know, it's. I opted for the chrome tank one. This didn't cost an awful lot of money as a new motorcycle either. These engines are absolutely beautiful. They're 647cc. I've reviewed a couple of them now, and I love them. They're, even in standard form, 47 horsepower. They've got mid-range pull on them. You know, they'll pull quite happily, and this thing, it'll whiz you along at 80 mile an hour all day. That's all you need, really. Not too much tech on it either. You've got a button between the speedos, which basically that's your trip meter. That's what you got. That's all you've got. It's a lovely looking bike. And there's the exhaust that I fitted last night. So this is the Tech 2-in-1. It's very, very common on these bikes as an aftermarket system because they work. They give you, I think you get another 3 or 4 horsepower, and they're better on mid-range. So that's 47. I'll put the filter in it. I've stage 1'd it basically. Put the pipes on. I might be looking at maybe 50 horsepower, 51, which is what, when I was a kid. Here we are, look, 650 Yamahas. That's as far as I'm concerned, that's the modern version of that engine, and I've always loved these engines. I used to ride a hell of a lot of them, owned a few, and they were around about 50, 54 horsepower, so didn't think anything of it back in the day. Like I say, this, again, it would be around 50, 51 horsepower, more than adequate, 80 mile an hour all day long. And if you're on the A roads and that, get the suspension sorted, and no issues. A fun bike. Let's have a look at the quality anyway. So yeah, frame, look at that. I mean, these things, this was about £5,500 this. I'll put my hand on my heart now. I mean, I like my Harleys. There you go, look, that's a proper one. And there's the old twin cam, which they're all right, but as you know, I like my Harleys, but I can put my hand on my heart and say that the quality on this is better than the quality on that. Definitely. And I've seen some of these new bloody things, these Milwaukee 8s, and 20,000, 30,000 pounds. Anyway, back to the £5,000 bike, yeah. So there we go. Very good quality. Everything works. Everything. I'll tell you where they do cut the price on these, where they do make them to, obviously make them to a price. Suspension. I mean, those look brilliant, but they're not. And the front forks are as choppy as hell. So you can get a YSS revalve kit for the front forks, which I'm going to do on this, springs and everything. That'll sort the suspension out. That's what people do. They put the YSS kit on there. And change these for Hagen's. So job done with the suspension. Right, the Tech pipe, 350 quid, 340 quid. Really good quality, looks good quality. Nice welds. A little megaphone, decatted. There's a mid baffle here, and then it's all held on with springs. And according to, there's loads of videos out. That's why I didn't film fitting this, because there's a lot of videos out there of people fitting these Tech pipes. And according to Mr. Tech, he's got loads of stuff on YouTube, really informative. He says that they actually expand and seal these pipes, so that's why you got the springs. The only thing with this pipe is a little bit untidy here, and they've had to bring this left-hand pipe inboard of the frame rail, and you can see why, because if it came round outside you ain't going to have any clearance. So there's a bit of an angle bend on that, and that is one, this is one piece. It's a little short, it's a little short piece of right angle tube pipe with your lambda sensor, which is a little bit messy, but where else can you put it? And then the right hand pipe, the main exhaust actually slips over this. So this is just a short section. There's obviously graphite gasket under there. So we'll have a look and see what it's like the other side. I mean, look at all this. This is lovely. Absolutely lovely. So there you go. Look, you can just see in there, a little bit untidy, but hey, it works. And these pipes actually do make a difference with mid-range and a little bit more power. But yeah, look at, if you're got these Enfields, look up Tech. Well, I expect you'll know about Tech. They do Triumph stuff as well, and they do loads and loads of bits and pieces for these. The engine, I told you before, S&S do a big 800 and something cc big bore kit for these. 870 is it? I know these Yamas were you could get a Halco 840 for these, and if you stroke these you could take them out to over 1000 cc. These are 650 in standard, guys, and bulletproof engines, big roller, double roller bearings up on the cam there. Love them, love those engines. Ridden a lot of them when I was younger, and still got a sidecar outfit. So yeah, so this, as far as I'm concerned, is a modern version of that Yamaha engine. So it will quite happily take a big bore kit, S&S big bore kit, and if it'll do that without any issues, you in 650 form, standard 650 form, this sort of thing will motor on forever. Totally under stressed engine. You can do all your maintenance, home maintenance. The rocker covers come off. You got your screw adjuster valve, your valve adjustment with screw and lock nut. And I think that looks a little bit like, dare I say it, an A65 engine. I might be wrong, but my mate's got loves his A65 BSAs, and I reckon it does. Apart from the way the way they've done this, they've made it look like almost like a pre-unit engine, the way they've split this, but that's sort of like A10, I reckon. I might be wrong. It is a Royal Enfield, isn't it? So maybe it looks like an older Royal Enfield. But there's a lot of BSA A65 up here, I think. Or am I talking rubbish? But yeah, so there it is up on the bench. I haven't run it up yet, so I've just cleaned the pipes down. You always got to clean the pipes down when you once you finish messing around with them, because if you get any oil or fingerprints on them, it'll burn onto the system. So I've cleaned them all down, and I'm going to get it off the bench now and see if I've got any leaks. Hopefully not. But, oh, and these horns, I had to use the horn for the first time the other day, and Jesus, the best horns I've had on a motorbike. Twin horns. Well, people get out of the way. So yeah, let's get it off the bench and see what it sounds like. Those Harleys are heavy. Right, so anyway, one off, one on. So the Continental with its new exhaust pipe, that's just come off the ramps, and we'll give that a fire up in a minute, see if there's any exhaust leaks. And then I've just put the good old Twinkie up on the ramps because we're going to be doing a service on that, and I'm going into the primary and we'll have a chat about this model, compensator sprockets, primary chain tensioners. Yeah, you guys that are in the know will be smiling to yourselves. And we do service, just do sort of, you know, oil changing and whatnot, because this thing, it runs very hot, always has done. It's been remapped, but it's a big engine, it runs hot. I'll put an oil cooler on there, which is a must as far as I'm concerned with these big motors. I think they all come now with oil coolers as standard, and some of them, the touring models, have even got water cooled heads and stuff, so when the back cylinders shut down and everything to try and keep them cool, but they run hot anyway. Big engines, don't need more than, you don't need any more than one of these. That's all you need, little 1200, little 1200. But these are all out to all sorts of bloody sizes now, for whatever reason. I mean, you get them at speed, they don't really handle anyway. Can't really see the point of having 15, 16, 17, 1800cc motors, torque monsters. Unless you want to pull a caravan, or tow a van behind you, or whatever. It's, anyway, back to this. So we're going to have the primary off, oil change. Like I say, I drop the oil every 3,000 mile, if not before on this. I think it's 6,000, but if they just mash the oil, it comes out as water. So 3,000 on this, if not 2. The shovel head, every 1,000 mile, I used to change oil on that. A little bit anal perhaps, but yeah, they are what they are. And it's this pot here on these things, these back cylinders, because they're in line. They're not like your Japanese metric cruisers where they're staggered. You've got a male and female big end on these, so the rear and the rear conrod and the front conrod, they fit into each other. Sort of, how can I explain it? There's one conrod, and there's the other. They go in like that, if that makes sense. So they're in line, so these get hot. But yeah, so with this bike, well, I'll explain some more about it when we start mucking around with it, but start servicing it. But I got this from a friend. It didn't cost me an awful lot of money. and that's why I had it, else I wouldn't have considered buying one. But some people, they've got a good following, these twin cams. A lot of people love them. I personally think they're more like riding a Yamaha. If you're used to your old Harleys, these things are like riding a big Yamaha Virago or something. But no doubt people will tell me different on that one, stir up a hornet's nest. But it came over from France. My mate lived in France, so he didn't ride it. This thing's spent a lot of its time in people's front rooms. When I picked it up, it had 8,000 miles on it, and it's a 2007. I've owned it 2 years now. But as you can see, you know, it's bloody good nick. It's had 3 previous owners, one of which bought these expensive, I think they're performance machine, anyway, these expensive rear shocks, and it's got the springs as well in the front, so it's had rear replacement springs. So that's the suspension sorted, and other than that, it's pretty standard, as you can see. Standard crappy wheels. The quality of it, the condition of it, I wouldn't say quality, is lovely. I'll put some. I replaced the pipes. Took theirs on these things. They've got like the rear exhaust shuts down. There's like a little cam in there, a little flap, all to do with trying to keep the noise down, getting through noise regs and stuff. So that all got taken out. So I've deactivated that, took it out. Set of what were supposed to be reasonably quiet pipes, but they're not. But I've been told it sounds really nice when you ride past, but when you're actually on it, bloody noise blatting in your left ear hole after about 2 hours gets on your nerves. It's, put a filter on it. Jury's out on that. It was I don't know why I picked that, but it just, all the crap gets in there. It's not ideal, but I didn't like the ones that do the right angle and run along and they cover the front rocker cover up. So I thought I'd opt for this. But it does the job, and it's been remapped. So and it runs cooler than it did, but it still runs hot. I think all these motors, because of the size, like I said, run hot. It's got a 6-speed box on it. The six gear is an overdrive, so this thing will, they're amazing really, this thing will barrel along at 90 mile an hour at sort of like 3,000 revs. It's madness really, you know. You're in 5th gear and you're going blah, 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 and then you just hook another gear and then the revs just drop down, and if you're used to the older stuff, I mean that'd be happy at about 55 mile an hour plopping along. With a 4-speed box. It's there you are, 1946, 2007. But hey, how times change. Anyway, let's go and fire this Enfield up and see what we got. Right then, let's see what it sounds like. So, let's switch on. Actually getting hit by the power pulses coming out of that exhaust. It didn't do before. just filled up with fuel and we're off to pick a couple of Harleys up. So 28. So might as well film it. See how we go. We got one Evolution. What is it, Trev?
Shiva, shovel-head framed Evolution.
One shovel-head framed Evolution motor. And these are pretty rare because they've got the shovel-head frame. There it is. I'm just going to open the... Well, I don't want to... I obviously don't want to film where it is, where we are, but there you go. That's what we're looking at. And with these old... they notch where the shovel head on this back spine. They didn't need a notch, but to fit the Evolution engine in, when they flipped over to the Evolution engine, basically they thought, well, we'll stick a few in the remaining frames we got left, which were shovel head frames. So they, good old Harley, look, they just notch it, so you got clearance for your rear exhaust port pipe. So that's what that's all about. But these are rare old things.
It's gonna get personal.